Good morning, Roller Derby friends, and we are coming to you live here from Chicago, Illinois for the second day of JRDA Championships here. Our first game, Central Time, 8 a.m. is going to be Columbia taking on the Foxtails. We are warming up for that. Stick around, 10 a.m. Central Time will be Nashville versus Tampa. Our game after that will be Des Moines versus, that is going to be the Pixies, I believe. So we're going to go ahead with our rosters. Skating for Columbia, we have number 007, Mad Danger, 101, Soul Crusher, 113, Thomas the Train, 14, Roland Misma, 17, Chublakia, number 1989, Babs the Breaker, 1999, Apollo, 241, Hippo, 399, Imp the Shrimp, 5000, Killman, number 6, and the Captain, Thug Buggerson, 64, Kid Block, number 7, Loki Crazy, number 816, Little Red, and number 934, Tank. Skating for the Foxtails, we have number 07, Rotten Candy, number 08, Serious Block, number 1001, Girl Plower, 144, Penny Rebel, 177, Hellcat, number 27, Catch Me, 28, Tenacious B, 37, Party Poison, 4077, Crash Mash, 423, and your Captain, Oogie Boogie, number 6, Megatron, number 611, Tears of the Lynx, number 9, Wreck-It Riley, 911, Betty Rage, and number 928, Moxie. We are off now into our first jam. It's a Columbia lead now. Thug Bugger sitting out to jam, and Thug is our lead jammer. Thug Buggers are coming out of that with 2 points on the board for Columbia. That is a scoreless jam for the Foxtails. Out next for the Foxtails, 144. This is Penny Rebel. And Killman, 77 out to jam for Columbia. And 2 leads in a row here for Columbia. Killman is in control of the jam. Killman brought out of the pack, recycled to the front, tries to take the apex, gets some blocking by Hellcat. That's a pass complete. Our gym referee is throwing up 4 fingers, so 4-0 here in favor of Columbia. So +4 is going to make Columbia sitting at a total of 6 points, and Foxtails still scoreless. Killman coming out on the line here for Columbia. And looking at our jammer, okay, number 4077, Crash Mash. Excellent reference there. Okay, looks like there is some jammer-on-jammer defense. Crash Mash taken out of bounds and rolled all the way back by Killman. So no lead jammer yet. Killman now coming up to the front of the pack. Gets past number 611. That is Tears of the Lynx. And Killman is our lead jammer. So 3 back-to-back leads for Columbia. Now Killman is in on a scoring pass. Taken out by number 07, Rotten Candy. But it's 5 points on the board by Killman. Now Killman on a second scoring trip through. Foxtails forming their defense at the back of the pack. There's a 3-wall. Just took Killman out of bounds. 07 Rotten Candy running Killman all the way to the back, forcing Killman to restart this pass. Nice tripod work by the Foxtails. Killman taken out by the Foxtails pivot there. So Killman is recycled. That pivot, number 07 Rotten Candy, working some fantastic defense in this third jam of the game. We are not looking at a lead jammer yet. Killman has a 2-wall of Foxtails blockers up to the front of the pack. Both of those blockers working some defense. There is a lead jammer. That is Killman, and Killman does have 4 points. So Columbia on an 8-point jam. Now make that 12 points. A third scoring trip completed by Killman. Foxtails still scoreless. Their jammer still stuck on this initial pass. Here comes Killman. Foxtails walling up with the 4 wall at the front of the pack. Killman with some one-on-one blocking. Megatron jumping in there from the Foxtails with that blocking to assist, keeping Killman stuck within the engagement zone. Killman is out, completing a 4th scoring trip now. Columbia looking at 16 points on this jam. And we time out at the full 2 minutes. So 16-0 there in favor of Columbia. Foxtails still scoreless. Looks like we've got number 9, Wreck-It Riley, out to jam for the Foxtails. Number 7, Loki Crazy, out to jam. Yes, it is. Out to jam for Columbia. Going into our 4th jam of the game. Loki Crazy fighting with some Columbia blockers at the top of the pack. Loki Crazy is out now, making this 4 leads in a row for Columbia. Wreck-It Riley stuck at the bottom of the pack behind those Columbia blockers. Here comes Loki Crazy in for a first round of points, taken out of bounds. I believe that's Tears of the Lynx with that defense against Loki Crazy. Our pack reforming here, coming around the straightaway. Wreck-It Riley taken down and brought out of bounds. Recycled by number 241. Hippo with that defense. Foxtails certainly strengthening their defense here against Wreck-It Riley. I'm sorry, against Loki Crazy. Wreck-It Riley still on this initial pass for Foxtails. Betty Rage working that defense there. Keep getting in Loki Crazy's way. So Loki Crazy is on this scoring pass. Does not currently have any points. There's 4 whistles, so that jam is over. Let's see what the jammer referees are saying for points. Okay, that's going to be a +4 for Columbia. And Wreck-It Riley scoreless on that jam. Looking at the score now, Columbia 28, Foxtails nothing. Doug Bogerson taking on Penny Rebel. Doug Bogerson is out. Doug Bogerson, your captain today of the Columbia Junior Rollers. Penny Rebel on this initial pass, taken out by Columbia's defense. That's number 1989. That is Babs the Breaker. Doug Bogerson coming out with the first 4 points of the jam. Here comes Thug on a second scoring pass. A little bit of a jammer block on Penny Rebel, but Thug is out now looking at another 4, so an 8-point jam for Columbia. First point scored by Foxtails by Penny Rebel, coming out with that 4-point pass completed. And Doug Bogerson calls off the jam. Looks like we're going to see 4 more points going up for Thug. There it is. That's going to bring Columbia now up to the 40-point mark. Foxtails with their first points of the game. They are at 4. Party Poison out the jam now, taking on Killman, number 007. Oh, and it looks like Party Poison is off to the penalty box, so this is a power jam in the hands of Columbia with Killman in full control. Killman coming in. Nice toe-stop work on that inside line. Stays in bounds, has 4 points. So Party Poison still seated for that penalty. Oh, failed apex jump by Killman, my number 07, Rotten Candy. Shutting out apex jump. Jam called off, just a 4-0 there in favor of Columbia. Like both teams starting this jam down 1 blocker. No, this is going to be a power start in the hands of Columbia with Foxtails Jammer still in the box, though seated in the last couple seconds. It is a 3-3 pack because Foxtails and Columbia both have a blocker in the box. Number 28, Tenacious B, with some fantastic defense there from the Foxtails, but Chublakia is out. It's number 17. Chublakia now working against a Foxtails 3 while turning into a tripod at the top of the pack. Tang coming in, trying to break up that Foxtails tripod. Chublakia, though, does get a tap out of bounds. It's an incomplete scoring pass with that no pass, no penalty. So Chublakia is still on the scoring pass. Doug Bogerson working some defense against the pivot 407-7 crash mash. And Chublakia called off on what looks to be a forearm penalty at the same time. Foxtails loses their pivot to a penalty. So Crash Mash is re-enters the pack. After receiving a star pass, so that was an abbreviated penalty there, since both jammers were called at the same time. Mad Danger up front receiving that Columbia star. And Mad Danger is out. Does have 4 points after that star pass. And Mad Danger picking up 3 more points on those 4 whistles. Okay, our scoreboard updating now, so. Okay, going into a timeout now by our officials. Talking of our officials, let's give them some recognition for this morning's game here, 8 a.m. here in Chicago. Bionic Bee, Talia Up, Breadpool, Anya Arson, Eggs Benedict, Bon Appetit, Mr. Bruise Guy, Mortal Kombat, French Thwarter, Elemental, Synapsing, Illinois, Quesadilla, Shrimp and Roll, Croc, and Miller Lite. Those are our officials working this morning's game here. Game 1 of JRDA Championships here in Chicago. Our next game, estimated to be around the 10 a.m. mark Central Time, will be Nashville versus Tampa. Rolling whistle brings us to the end of that official timeout, going back to our game. Pack advantage here in the hands of Columbia. Foxtails down 2 blockers to start this jam. Girl Power out to jam for Foxtails, and this is number 64. This is Kid Block jamming for Columbia. Kid Block is lead. Hellcat working some defense at the top of the pack along with number 08, Serious Block. Girl Power is out, completes an initial pass. So we are jammer on jammer. That is a scoring pass completed by Kid Block and Columbia, but initial pass completed by Girl Power. So no points yet for Foxtails. Looks like that was just a penalty whistle, not for to end the jam. So the jam is still going. Kid Block taking on that 2-wall of Foxtails blockers now, make that a 3-wall in the bottom of the pack. Our pack slowing down and tightening up here, coming around the apex. Killman with a full rollback on number 1001, Girl Plower, I apologize, who is jamming for the Foxtails. And Kid Block makes that call off. A couple more points here rolling in by our jamming referees. Looks like that may be a +2. And Girl Plower is getting some points as well. That may be all 4. Seven-point jam by Kid Block. Going to bring Columbia now up to 58. Foxtails 8. Looks like this is 144. Penny Rebel out for the Foxtails. And Lil Red out to jam for Columbia. Number 816. Foxtails with a tripod at the top of the pack against Lil Red. Penny Rebel taken down amidst the pack. Now Columbia bringing their defense to the front of the pack. Nice bracing work by number 101, Soul Crusher for Columbia. Okay, Lil Red does find that hole on the inside and has a Columbia lead. Lil Red taking on that 2-wall of Foxtails blockers, but gets some assistance from Soul Crusher to help break up that 2-wall. So Lil Red does break out with 4 points, the first 4 points of the jam. Okay, and that jam called off, so 4-0 here in favor of Columbia. They're at 62, Foxtails 8. Party Poison out for the Foxtails to jam. Number 37. And Chublakia jamming for Columbia. Columbia in the lead now. Chublakia is in control. Chublakia coming in the back of the pack. Foxtails throwing a 3-wall at them. Columbia losing their pivot. Killman to the penalty box. Some solo blocking against that Foxtails jammer, keeping them stuck at the back of the pack. No, now Party Poison does make it out of the pack, so we do have an initial pass complete for Foxtails. Oh, and just about a completed scoring pass. Tang trying to get in the way, but Party Poison is out with a 4-point pass. Some much needed points here for the Foxtails. This is a power jam in the hands of the Foxtails with Chublakia seated on the penalty. So Loki Crazy coming in there trying to do some blocking against Party Poison. The Party Poison is out, passes all 4 Columbia blockers. Party Poison with another 4, looking now at an 8-point jam. Party Poison now starting on a 3rd scoring trip. Goes to the inside, moves to the middle to get around Tank, and it's effective because Party Poison is out with another 4. Highest scoring jam so far of the Foxtails with looking at 12 points, and Columbia still scoreless. Party Poison now on a 4th trip. If Party Poison gets 4 more points, this will be the highest scoring jam of the game so far, and it is. Party Poison actually matching, this isn't the highest yet, matching 16 points. That is matching Killman's jam here in the 3rd jam of the game. Impressive work by the Foxtails, bringing their score up to 24. It's a 3-point jam for Columbia. So Rotten Candy number 07 out to jam for the Foxtails. And double 07, this is Mad Danger out to jam for Columbia. So 07 and double 07. That whistle starts. Rotten Candy is ahead, but is taking on a tripod of Columbia blockers at the top of the pack. Oh, very close. It is a Foxtails lead. First lead in the game for the Foxtails, and Rotten Candy sacrificing the jam, calling it off just as Mad Danger gets ahead. So that jam sacrifice is scoreless for both teams. Still looking at a score now. Columbia 65, Foxtails 24 after that 16-point jam by Party Poison just a few moments ago. Now on our next jam, 1999, Apollo with the jammer star for Columbia. And Rotten Candy out the jam again. Back-to-back for Foxtails. And two back-to-back leads for the Foxtails. Nice jamming by Rotten Candy. Rotten Candy with a 4-point pass, and Rotten calls it off. So Rotten Candy now putting 28 points on the board just in the past few minutes. I'm sorry, make that 20 points on the board in the past few minutes. Total score 28. 20 of those have been scored by Rotten Candy in the past 5 minutes or so of the game. So that was a scoreless jam for Columbia. Now Killman out the jam for Columbia. Penny Rebel has that star for the Foxtails. Killman getting lead. Now Killman coming in the pack on a scoring pass. Foxtails down a blocker in the box, so it's just a 3-wall. Killman is out. Looks like Killman may be called off on a penalty. I think that's a track cut at the very end of that jam. So the jam is still underway. It was not called off. Killman having a seat in the box, and this is going to, well, okay, looks like that jam actually is over. So all we know from what we could see up here is there was a track cut signaled by the jammer referee, potentially during what could be the call off of the jam, and we're not sure. We don't have the details, so this is only speculation. We are now, though, in a timeout called by our officials. Not sure if that's to clarify what's gone on here. There are some points going on the board for Columbia. Those 2 points will bring Columbia up to 67. Foxtails at 28. Rolling whistle. So it looks like this is going to be a power start in the hands of the Foxtails. That track cut on Killman is still in effect. So Killman still in the box. And this is Tenacious B with that star for the Foxtails. Doug Bogerson with some defense against Tenacious B, forcing Tenacious to restart this pass. Tenacious B coming in, and she's only got to get past Tank. Okay, Tank goes down. Doug Bogerson goes to the front of the pack, working some defense against Tenacious B. It's effective because Tenacious B is taken out and brought all the way back. Oh, you can feel the tension there between that jammer and that pivot. I think they were laughing. They were smiling. It's all in good fun. Tenacious B is brought back to the restart this entire pass. Columbia reforms their defense with a tripod at the back of the pack. Killman comes out from that track cut in the last jam. Lead jammer still open, and I believe is called off on a high block. So back-to-back penalties here for Killman with a high block penalty. So the chance of a power jam still in the hands of Tenacious B. Tenacious B is out. Just about, that is. Kid Block coming to the front of the pack, stays in play, continuing some blocking now. Thug Bogerson joining this blocking. Columbia reforms their entire defense at the top of the pack. They are not giving any mercy to Tenacious B. Tenacious B does get 2 whistles, but is taken down. Tenacious B calls off the jam, was unable to score. So a scoreless jam for both teams. Now Columbia calling for a team timeout. About 8.5 minutes left to our first half of this game. Panning to a shot here of our Columbia Juniors bench. Columbia coached by Coach Eddie and Darth Mahler. Columbia up 67 over Foxtails 28. Still in this team timeout. Just a couple seconds to go. Okay, into our next jam. Party Poison out the jam again, taking on Killman. Killman out of the box, so both teams have their jammers on the track. Killman is out, but is not lead jammer. Party Poison 37 is our lead jammer. Now Party calls off the jam before Killman can score any points, so we are again at a scoreless jam. Three to 4 pack here in favor of Foxtails. Doug Wilkerson out versus Wreck-It Riley. Wreck-It Riley is making her way to the top of the pack, but Columbia throwing their entire defensive strength at Riley. Meanwhile, Doug Wilkerson sneaks through there and gets a Columbia lead. Wreck-It Riley getting past number 14 from Columbia. That is Roland Riesma. Both jammers now are out. Doug Wilkerson on a first scoring trip through. A 2-wall of Foxtails blockers. Wall up against Doug Wilkerson, but Thug is out, has 4 points, and he calls off the jam. Five-on-five jam. Penalty box is clear. Mad Danger out there versus Betty Rage. Mad Danger for Columbia. Mad Danger finds that hole on the outside, picking up a Columbia lead. There's a toe stop on the track. Betty Rage still on this initial pass. Looks like that was not Betty Rage's toe stop, so both jammers with their full ability right now. Betty Rage getting some blocking at the back of the pack by those Columbia blockers, turning into a 3-wall. Mad Danger is out with the first 4 points of the jam. Betty Rage still stuck on this initial. Mad Danger coming in for a second scoring trip. Our pack splits up. There's some calls by our referees. Mad Danger out with another 4, making this an 8-point jam. Foxtails losing a blocker to the penalty box. Mad Danger in for a third trip through, but meets a 3-wall, turning into a tripod of Foxtails blockers at the back of the pack. They are giving Mad Danger, a little bit of difficulty in completing this third scoring pass. Mad Danger goes for the call-off, keeping this at 8-0. Columbia now 79, Foxtails 28. 5 minutes left to our first half of our first game here at Championships. Hellcat out the jam for Foxtails. Thug Buggerson with the star for Columbia, and Thug Buggerson gets an attempted block but stays in bounds. Hellcat is our lead jammer for the Foxtails. Hellcat catching up now to Thug Buggerson. Thug Buggerson with an apex jump gets way ahead of Hellcat. Hellcat still stuck in the pack. Hellcat being recycled to the back. Hellcat on her first scoring pass. Thug Buggerson already has 4 points now, working on a second trip through, and it is effective. Thug with a second scoring pass complete, making this 8 points for Columbia. Hellcat comes out with 4 points and calls off the jam. Now, I remember Hellcat from championships, I believe, back in 2018, so a lot of skill, a lot of years behind these skaters today. 8-4 jam in favor of Columbia. They're at 87. Foxtails 32. Crash Mash out the jam versus Killman. Rotten Candy going for some defense against Killman, but Killman is just too fast. Gets ahead and gets lead for Columbia. Crash Mash stuck in the bottom of that pack. Crash Mash does find the hole, gets ahead. Kid Block working some defense against Crash Mash. Crash Mash still yet to complete her initial pass. Killman out now with a second scoring trip complete, making this an 8-point jam and no signs of slowing down. Star pass underway from Crash Mash. Here comes Killman on a third trip through. Oh, nice defensive block by Tears of the Lynx, taking Killman down, coming around the apex. We have a star pass over to number 07, Rotten Candy, and that jam is called off. So Columbia just 1 point shy of the century mark. 12-point jam. They're at 99. Foxtails 32. Doug Buggerson back out versus number 9, Wreck-It Riley. Doug Buggerson getting some blocking by Foxtails, but Foxtails losing serious block to a penalty. Doug Buggerson is out with a Columbia lead. Wreck-It Riley seated in the penalty, so this is in the penalty box. So this is a power jam here for Columbia. Wreck-It Riley is released, has to complete her initial pass. Tank trying to work some blocking, but Riley is out. Doug Buggerson with the first 4 points of the jam now, coming on a second trip through. Goes for an apex jump, but it is incomplete. So Thug looks like, okay, it was complete. Doug Buggerson does come in, calls off the jam. 4-0 here, a minute and 22 left to our first half. $5,000 Killman out. Party Poison jamming for Foxtails. Killman coming out with the Columbia lead. Party Poison coming out completing her initial pass, so both jammers now able to score points. Killman is in on a first scoring trip through. Foxtails down a blocker, making things a little bit easier here for Killman. So Killman keeping this at a 4-0 jam. Columbia 107, Foxtails 32. Just a couple seconds left to our first half. Certainly this jam going to bring us into halftime when this is completed. That whistle starts, and it is a power start in the hands of Columbia with Tears of the Lynx seated in the box, it looks like. Doug Bugerson called off on a track cut. That's going to release. That's going to release number 611, Tears of the Lynx. Tears of the Lynx picking up lead for the Foxtails. And Tears coming in with an apex jump. And called off on a track cut. So no longer a lead jammer for the jam. Tears of the Lynx will have a seat in the box. That's going to release Thug Bugerson. Thug Bugerson coming back into the pack. Foxtails throwing a 2-wall at Thug, but Thug stays in bounds, completes an initial pass. So far, no points scored. Tears of the Lynx finishing their time in the box. Both jammers back in. 3-on-4 derby here, pack advantage here in favor of the Foxtails. Thug on a scoring pass. Thug just being brought back and forth by number 6 from Foxtails. That's Megatron with that defense, but Megatron called off. So Foxtails losing 2 blockers. Thug Bugerson is out with 4 points. Our period clock has expired, so the end of this jam will be the end of the first half. Once again, no chance for a call-off. We do not have a lead jammer. Jam called off on a matter of safety. Just making sure that our skaters can be tended to here. I believe that's going to bring us to halftime. Welcome back. We are going into our second half of Game 1 here at JRDA Championships, live to you from Chicago. This is Columbia versus Foxtails. Didn't have a whole lot of jams here in the first half of the game. Columbia certainly had their fair share of points. They are at 115 over Foxtails 36. Foxtails maintaining kind of a lower scoring game here up until Party Poison had a 16-point jam. Going over to our jammer line, number 6, there's Thug Bugerson out there to jam for Columbia. And Party Poison out to jam number 37 for the Foxtails. Thug Bugerson takes a bit of a defensive hit there and is brought to the back. Both jammers are recycling. Party Poison stuck in the pack. Thug Bugerson is out with a Columbia lead. Party Poison trying to complete her initial pass, but is getting some one-on-one blocking by Roland Riesma. Doug Bugerson is in on a scoring pass. Oh no, called off on a penalty. So 2-minute jam now, no chance for a call off. And a power jam lies in the hands of Party Poison. So Party Poison is taken down by Roland Riesma and is brought to the back of the pack. Still in this power jam in the hands of Party Poison. But Party Poison is not lead. Thug will have lost that lead privilege. This is a 2-minute jam. Now Columbia walling up with a 3-wall with a catch, keeping Party Poison stuck. Doug Bugerson with an apex jump comes in and scores 4 points right out of the box. Doug Bugerson completing another 4-point pass. Columbia now looking at an 8-point jam. Party Poison taken out and brought to the back of the pack. That defense by number 1989, Babs the Breaker. Thug coming out, completing a 3rd scoring trip, making this a 12-point jam. Working on 16 points. There it is, our jam referee throwing up 4 fingers. Our jam here timing out in just a second. There it is. So 16-0 in favor of Columbia by Thug Bugerson. So Columbia 131, Foxtails. They've got 4 points. Compliments of number 37, Party Poison. They're at 40. It looks like we have 177. Is that Hellcat on the jammer line? Let's see what our officials are telling us. Yes, Hellcat versus Mad Danger, and Hellcat just about gets through, but she is taken out and has to restart that pass. No lead jammer yet. Hellcat meeting up with a tripod of Columbia blockers, unable to get any assistance from her teammates. So Kid block with some one-on-one blocking against Hellcat. Now Hippo coming in. Hellcat, called off on a penalty. So no lead jammer yet. Chance of lead in the hands of Mad Danger for Columbia. Mad Danger taken out and recycled to the back. Foxtails down that jammer and a blocker, so they've got only 3 blockers on the track. Still no lead jammer. Mad Danger still fighting with the Pixies defense at the top of the pack. Mad Danger recycled to the back. And Mad Danger is out. So it's a Columbia lead. Hellcat also released from that earlier penalty, so Hellcat is out, completes an initial pass. Mad Danger, though, with 4 points for Columbia. And Mad Danger calls off the jam before Hellcat can score. So another 3 there for Columbia. They're at 134, Foxtails 40. Looking at Thug Buggerson back out there versus Penny Rebel from Foxtails. And Penny Rebel gets out. Foxtails in the lead for this jam. I believe this is their second lead in the game. Nice offense by Penny Rebel. Now Penny coming in on a scoring pass. Goes to the outside, rides that line. Thomas the Train coming out to jam for the Foxtails. Number 911, Betty Rage. And it is not a power start. Just 1 blocker in the box here from Columbia. So a 3-4 pack in favor of the Foxtails. Betty Rage pushing to the front of the pack and his lead. So another Foxtails lead. Betty Rage in control. Loki Crazy has this star for Columbia. Now Betty Rage coming in, picking up some speed on this scoring pass. Tries to get around number 64 Kid block, but does go out of bounds. So Betty Rage is going to have to restart this pass. Betty Rage now coming back in the pack. A star pass completed over to number 5,000 Killman for Columbia. So Killman in possession of that star, gets about halfway around the track, and Betty Rage calls off the action. So 4-0 in favor of the Foxtails in that jam. There's our jammer coming off the track now, number 911, Betty Rage with those 4 points. Panning back to our track, we do have a 3-on-4 jam. Foxtails with the pack advantage. Columbia is still down a blocker. Penny Rebel versus Thug Buggerson. And Thug working to the front of the pack. But Thug Buggerson called off on a penalty. I didn't catch that hand signal, but this is a power jam, and I believe 3 leads in a row for the Foxtails. Penny Rebel coming out and is in full control. So Penny Rebel now coming in the pack, goes for that hole on the inside, but is shut down by Roland Riesma. Penny Rebel goes and signals the call off. That is going to freeze Columbia's jammer in the box and buy a power start for the Foxtails in the next jam. And it looks like this may be Hellcat coming out to jam for the Foxtails next. Yes, it is. 177 Hellcat with that star, and it is a power start. Hellcat's over there trying to get the crowd pumped up here for this power start. And that whistle starts the action. Hellcat taken out of bounds right off that whistle. Goes back in, goes to the outside, is taken out of bounds. Hellcat is out. There's 2 whistles. So Hellcat is our lead jammer. Another lead now in the hands of the Foxtails. Still a power jam? Nope. Okay, no. Thug is back in from that penalty that was in the last jam. Hellcat coming out with 4 points. Thug completing an initial pass. Hellcat calls off the jam before Thug can score any points. So 4-0 there in favor of Foxtails. They're a 48, Columbia 134. And Foxtails with the pack advantage again in this next jam. It's going to be Betty Rage out there versus Chew Blockia. We just saw Betty Rage jam a few moments ago, and Betty Rage was lead, but Columbia picking up lead now with Chew Blockia. The first jammer out, and Chew Blockia is in control. Betty Rage taken out of bounds by number, I believe that was number 007, Mad Danger. Now Foxtails jammer is seated in the box, so a power jam in the hands of Columbia now. Chew Blockia coming out with the first 4 points of the jam. Betty Rage taking a stand in the box, so just a couple seconds left to their penalty. Chew Blockia still in the pack on the scoring pass. Nice defense by number 08, Serious Block. And Chew Blockia is out, completing 2 scoring passes, making this so far an 8-point jam. Columbia now down 2 blockers. Chew Blockia in for a 3rd scoring trip. Columbia with a 3-wall right now against Betty Rage, keeping Betty Rage trapped inside that pack. Chew Blockia does come out, and our jam referee holding up all 4 fingers. So Columbia regaining that point spread that they had just a few moments ago with this +12 jam. Just 10 seconds left to this jam. Chew Blockia coming in on another scoring pass. Megatron coming in, working some defense along with Rotten Candy, but it is a 4-point jam. So 16 points for Columbia brings them to 150. Foxtails scoreless at 48. Just under 20 minutes left to our game. Party Poison out there to jam for Foxtails. Thug Buggerson with the star for Columbia. And it is a Columbia lead. Thug Buggerson is in control. Thug took a bit of a stumble there, went down, but stayed in bounds the whole time, so it's all good. Now, Party Poison gaining some distance there on the track out ahead of Thug. Thug called off the jam, so nothing for both of our teams. Thug Buggerson out there once again taking on Party Poison. Thug Buggerson getting 2 whistles. He is our lead jammer. And Party Poison called off on a penalty, so this is a Columbia power jam. Thug Buggerson making his way to the top of the pack. Foxtails throwing their entire 4-wall at Thug, but Thug is out with 4 points and is still on this power jam. Party Poison still seated in the box. Thug Buggerson coming in now on a 2nd scoring trip. And he is out, making quick work of that pass. That's 4 more points. Columbia with an 8-point jam. Doug Bogerson calls off the jam. That's going to... He's going to end that jam. There will not be a power start. Party Poison, I believe, has been released, so we're going to have a full jammer matchup in the next jam. Nope, my mistake. I can see Party Poison still standing in the box in their last couple seconds, so it will be a power start in the hands of Columbia. And Loki Crazy is out, jamming for Columbia. Very brief power start because Party Poison does finish their time in the box. And Party Poison, despite starting in the box, is out with a Foxtails lead. So Loki Crazy taken down on this initial pass. Here comes Party Poison on a scoring pass. Takes a little bit of a roll there on the track. Looks like Tank with that initiation. So Party Poison is going to recycle to the back and restart the scoring pass. Oh, Party Poison once again being taken out by Tank. Loki Crazy coming in, completing an initial pass, ready to score some points. Comes into the engagement zone, but Party Poison calls off the jam, not before scoring 2 points for the Foxtails. So Foxtails now at 50, Columbia 158. Three to 4 pack in favor of Columbia. Foxtails missing their pivot in the penalty box. Number 6, Thug Bogerson, is out the jam once again. Number 9, Wreck-It Riley has a star for the Foxtails, but Thug Bogerson is out with a Columbia lead. Mad Danger working some defense against Wreck-It Riley. Wreck-It Riley recycled all the way to the back to redo this initial pass. Killman taking Wreck-It Riley out a second time. So Wreck-It Riley still stuck on this initial, and Thug Bogerson out with 3 points already. Now Thug meeting up with a tripod of Foxtails blockers. Thug getting through that tripod just as they lose a blocker to the inside of the track. So Thug out with a 4-point pass, now making this a 7-point jam. Thug now taking on all 4 Foxtails blockers. Tries to get through on the outside, but is shut down and taken out of bounds. Nice recycle by Rotten Candy. Thug brought all the way to the back. Now a SAR pass over to Tenacious B by Wreck-It Riley. Jam called off. A few more points rolling in here for Thug Bogerson. They're at an 11-point jam. Columbia 169. We are now in a timeout called by one of our teams. Called by Columbia. Foxtails getting a lot of love in our crowd this morning. A lot of love for Columbia as well, and of course for our volunteers working hard to make sure that all of this gameplay is officiated correctly and properly and photographed, announced, everything we're all doing. A lot of volunteers. Big thank you to everybody who's making this work this weekend here in Chicago for JRDA Championships. Our team timeout coming to an end. It's a 5-on-5 jam. Both teams at full strength. Chublakia out there versus Girl Plower. Hellcat coming to Girl Plower's rescue, trying to open up a hole on the inside. But Columbia maintaining their defense at the top of the pack against Girl Plower. Nice defense by, that's 399. That is Imp the Shrimp taking down Girl Plower. Girl Plower called off on a track cut, so no chance for lead for the Foxtails. Power Jam now in the hands of Chublakia. Chublakia making their way to the top of the pack, but is taken down. Foxtails reform their defense up front, but Chublakia is out, and it's a Columbia lead. So Chublakia now still has this Columbia Power Jam, with Girl Plower still in the box from that earlier cut. Chublakia taking a bounce, coming around, looks like turn 3, and that jam is called off. So incomplete scoring pass, just a matter of 3 points there, brings Columbia to 172. Foxtail still at 50. Penny Rebel now out for the Foxtails. Slug Buggerson jamming for Columbia. I think Penny Rebel was taken down on that initial pass and restarts. We have lead now in the hands of Thug Buggerson, but Penny Rebel is out, so both jammers are out and able to score points. Thug with an impressive apex jump, lands in bounds, gets those 4 points, and calls off the jam. Foxtails unable to score in that jam before the call-off, so 4-0 in the favor of Columbia. Down to about 12 minutes to our first game of the day. Three-on-three pack, each team down a blocker in the box. Slug Buggerston out there versus number 4077. Of course, that's Crash Mash. And Thug Buggerson with an incomplete initial pass. So no lead jammer here for Columbia, even though Thug Buggerson is the first jammer out. So lead in the chance of Crash Mash. And Crash Mash taken out of bounds, forced to recycle. Thug Buggerson not lead, but does have 4 points. Crash Mash stuck at the back of the pack with that tripod held up by Killman. Thug Buggerson working to the front of the pack is taken out of bounds by number 911. That's Betty Rage. So our penalty box now empty. Both teams at full strength. Thug Buggerson coming out, completing an incomplete scoring pass. So just 3 points there on that pass. Columbia taking any points they can get now. Crash Mash still scoreless in this jam. Getting some solo blocking at the bottom of the pack by number 5000, Killman. Thug Buggerson completing another round of 4 points, making this an 11-point jam for Columbia. Crash Mash still stuck on this initial. Cannot get through. Columbia working some very strong defense against Crash Mash. Crash Mash with a star pass over to Tenacious B with just a few seconds left to our jam. And Tenacious B called off on a track cut. So Tenacious B will be sitting as the jammer for the Foxtails in the next jam. It will be a power start now for Columbia. Foxtails now calling for an official review, so we're going to take a brief break here. Columbia's jammer will be in the box. Not sure if that's a result of that official review or not. Either way, certainly an advantage for Foxtails. They've got Party Poison out there to jam solo on a power start, and Party Poison is our lead jammer. So Party Poison now making quick work of this pass coming in. Goes down at the back of the pack. Coming in on their first scoring pass. Party Poison goes and signals the call off just as Thug Bugerson comes out of the box. So Party Poison does have, all said and done, a 3-point scoring pass for the Foxtails. Rickett Riley out there for the Foxtails. And Chublakia jamming for Columbia. Each team down a blocker in the box, so a 3-on-3. Chublakia is out with a Columbia lead. Rickett Riley also breaking out, so we are going into some jammer-on-jammer derby. Chublakia goes down into the pack, takes a spill, calls off the jam, but not before picking up 3 points. So Columbia +3, they're at 191. It's scoreless jam for the Foxtails. They're at 53. About 7.5 minutes left to our game. Crash Mash out there once again taking on Thug Bugerson. Crash Mash gets taken out of bounds and brought to the back. 2 whistles. That means we have a lead jammer in the hands of Thug Bugerson. Crash Mash sent out of bounds once again. You see a no pass, no penalty hand signal there as that blocker against Crash has also gone out of bounds. So no penalties will be assessed. Thug Bugerson coming in on a scoring pass, but is taken out of bounds and forced to restart. Thug Bugerson does come out of the pack with 4 points. Crash Mash completes her initial pass and is now able to score. So both jammers coming into the pack. Thug Bugerson with an apex jump gets those 4 points, and he calls off the jam. So 4-0 jam there in favor of Columbia. Four whistles bringing us into an official timeout with 6 minutes, 9 seconds left to our game. And a rolling whistle brings us to the end of that timeout. So things moving pretty smoothly here in the last few moments of the game, hopefully. Appears that Thug Bugerson does have a penalty late in that last jam and is currently in the box. So a power start in the hands of the Foxtails. Party Poison number 37 out there to jam on this power start. Party Poison making her way to the top of the pack, and she breaks out. There's 2 whistles. It's a Foxtails lead now. Party Poison is in control. Thug Bugerson having a stand in the box. Party Poison on the track, rides the line, stays in bounds, puts 4 points up for the Foxtails. Thug Bugerson coming out of the box on an initial pass. Party Poison now coming in on a second round of points. Thug Bugerson called off on a penalty again, so back-to-back penalties here for Thug Bugerson. 4 points on the board by Party Poison, making this an 8-point jam. She's coming in on a second round of points, comes back in. Looks like she stays in bounds, but takes a bit of a spill there. She recovers on her skates and signals the call-off. There are some more points here, 4 more points, so a 12-point jam. That's 3 passes completed by Party Poison, bringing Foxtails up to 65. Columbia 1 point shy of that second century mark, 199. And Thug Buggerson frozen in the box for another jam start. Foxtails putting out Hellcat to jam on this power start. That whistle starts to jam. Hellcat coming in, trying to spearhead that pack, but is taken out of bounds and forced to recycle. And Hellcat goes through, finds a hole on the inside. 2 back-to-back leads for the Foxtails. Thug Buggerson coming back into the game from that earlier penalty. So both jammers now in play. Initial pass for Thug Buggerson. Thug Buggerson taken out of bounds. Hellcat completes her first scoring trip. So she's got 4 points now for Foxtails. This is still an initial pass underway by Thug Buggerson and Columbia. So Thug does come out completing that initial pass. Hellcat on her second trip through to score. She calls off that jam amidst that scoring pass. No doubt we'll have a few points here held up by our jam referees. Let's see. There's an official timeout. Looks like Hellcat did pass one Columbia blocker, making this a 5-point jam. 199-70, Columbia in the lead. 3:44 left to our game, and we are in a team timeout. So just a brief 60-second break called by, I believe, the Columbia bench. Our Nashvilleans taking their warm-up spots here on the track, getting ready for our intermission between games. That team timeout comes to an end, so we're back to some more derby here in just a moment. As soon as that whistle sounds, it is a 5-on-5 jam. Our penalty box is clear. Another lead for the Foxtails. Oogie Boogie coming out to jam. That is number 423, the captain, Oogie Boogie, with that Foxtails lead. Thug Buggerson. I'm sorry, no, Loki Crazy with that jammer star. Loki was stuck on that pass. Going to be a 3-on-4 jam here. Columbia with the pack advantage. Thug Buggerson out there to jam, and jamming for the Foxtails. This is Rotten Candy. Thug Buggerson is out with the Columbia lead. Rotten Candy, though, breaking out not far behind Thug. Rotten Candy catching up to Thug. Comes into the pack, meets up with a 3-wall of Columbia blockers. Rotten Candy sent out of bounds and forced to recycle. Thug Buggerson with 4 points for Columbia. Thug coming in now on a second scoring trip is in. Thug's out with 4 more points. Rotten Candy is on a scoring pass for the Foxtails, but is getting some very effective blocking by the Columbia blockers in the back of the pack. Thug Buggerson on a third scoring trip through, and Thug is out with 4 points. He calls off the jam. 2.5 minutes left to our game. Going now into a team timeout called by, I believe, the Foxtails, making that timeout call. We have what appears to be an empty penalty box, so our next jam should be starting at full strength, 5-on-5. And there's a rolling whistle down to the last couple minutes of the game. Coming out to jam for the Foxtails. Number 27, Catch Me. This is going to be Catch Me's first time out to jam. Okay, coming in from that team timeout, Catch Me versus Thug Buggerson. Thug Buggerson coming out with lead jammer for Columbia. And Thug in on the first scoring pass of the jam. Catch Me does break out. There is some sort of equipment there on the track, picked up by Tank. Thug Buggerson with 4 points. Catch Me picking up some speed coming into the pack, but is that jam called off by Thug Buggerson. Okay, Killman out there versus Wreck-It Riley. Killman being held back. And Wreck-It Riley is out. Wreck-It Riley is lead for the Foxtails. Killman taken out of bounds and forced to restart this pass. You can see Wreck-It Riley now coming in on her first scoring pass of the jam. She is taken down, coming around turn 2. She signals the call off. Looks like Wreck-It Riley does have 3 points. And we are moving into another team timeout. Coming off that team timeout now, moving into our next jam. Just a minute 16 left to our game. Columbia 215, Foxtails 77. We have Mad Danger out the jam up against Tears of the Lynx. Tears of the Lynx gets up front, gets a hit, but stays in bounds, so it's another Foxtails lead. Tears of the Lynx now in control. Now Tears coming in on their first scoring trip through. And Tears is out, scores 4 points, and they call off the jam. So Columbia unable to score. Party Poison out there to take on Thug Buggerson. Thug Buggerson taken down. Party Poison leads, so Foxtails certainly ramping up their leads in the last couple minutes of this game. Party Poison in control. Thug Buggerson stuck on this initial pass. Party Poison calls off the jam, gets 1 point up against Thug's scoreless jam, so 1-0 for the Foxtails, and there's another review timeout being called. Back to our game. 15 seconds left of the period clock. Likely going to be the last jam of the game. It's another Foxtails lead. Tears of the Lynx is out and in control. Thug Buggerson out the jam for Columbia. Thug getting through, so Thug completes his initial pass. Tears of the Lynx comes out, puts 4 points on the board. Period clock has expired, so that means no more timeouts being used in the last minute of the game. Tears of the Lynx now coming out. I'm sorry, no, this is Thug Bugerston with 4 points for Columbia. Tears of the Lynx is stuck in the pack. Okay, and that jam called off. That's going to bring us to the end of the game. Unofficial score, Foxtails 88, Columbia 219. Our officials will confer with the scorekeepers and make sure everything looks good, and they will declare an official score. Our next game, slated to be 10 o'clock or slightly thereafter, will be Nashville versus Tampa for our female division. Rolling whistle makes it final. Foxtails 88. Columbia taking the win, though, 219. Columbia Junior Rollers taking their victory lap here around the track. Now coming around the track, Foxtails Junior Derby. We're going to roll into a brief break here between now and our next game. We'll come back to you here in just a few moments with our second game of the day. 10 a.m. Central Time will be, once again, Nashville taking on Tampa for our female division.